Hi, hello, welcome back to Interesting Pharmacology. So in this video we are going to discuss about the ICH GCP introduction part and objectives and origin. Okay, so this is part 1 video, and for more updates follow Interesting Pharmacology. So ICH GCP, that is the International Conference on Harmonization and Good Clinical Practice. So first of all, what is good clinical practice means? This is a standard definition. Okay, a standard for the design, conduct, performance, monitoring, auditing, recording and analyzing and reporting of clinical trials. So simply remember it as, instead of DSP, okay, think it as DCP, MARA reporting sir. Okay, so DCP MARA reporting sir. So DCP, D stands for design, conduct, performance, monitoring, auditing, recording, analyzing and reporting, okay, of clinical trials, that provides assurance that the data and reported results are credible. Credible means that can be accepted, okay, and accurate, that the rights, integrity and confidentiality of the trial subjects are protected. Okay, so this is GCP. Next is, what is ICH GCP means? It is the guideline that is developed, so with the considerations of good clinical practice of the European Union, Japan and the US, as well as those of Australia, Canada, the Nordic countries and WHO. So to coordinate all these countries different GCP practices only, this ICH harmonization. So ICH means it is a series of conferences. Okay, so these series of conferences were held to coordinate all these countries different GCP and to provide a common GCP for all these countries. Okay, so that is only ICH GCP. So what is the objective of this is, first of all, to protect the rights of human subject participating in the clinical trial. So the human subjects who are participating, right? So to protect their rights, safety, everything. To ensure the scientific validity and credibility of the data collected in human clinical studies, and more economical use of human, animal and other material resources used, to provide a unified standard for the European Union, Japan and US to facilitate the mutual acceptance of the clinical data by the regulatory authorities in these jurisdictions. Okay, so next is, what is the origin of GCP? Okay, so generally, like it is said that the development of GCP began at the end of World War II. Okay, so the origin of the GCP consists of 4 parts as follows. So first one is the Nuremberg Code in 1946 and Kefauver Amendments in 1962, Declaration of Helsinki and Belmont Report. Okay, I repeat, Nuremberg Code, Kefauver Amendments, Declaration of Helsinki and Belmont Report. Okay, so first we are going to study about Nuremberg Code in 1946. Remember this as a story. Okay, so first of all, how this started was, German physicians conducted medical experiments on prisoners whom they caught from other countries. Okay, so without their permission, so without the permission of the prisoners, these German physicians done experiment on them. So most of the participants died or were permanently crippled during that experiment. Okay. So in December 9, 1946, what the American military did was, they opened or they proceeded criminal proceedings against these 23 German physicians. So at that time only this Nuremberg Code was established. Okay, it stated that the voluntary consent, that is the voluntary participation, okay, the voluntary consent of the human participant is absolutely essential to carry out any experiment on that person. Okay, so the Nuremberg Code was the first international document which advocated voluntary participation and informed consent. Informed consent means informing the participant that this type of experiment is going to be carried out on you. Are you willing? And asking the permission of that participant. Okay. Next is the Kefauver Amendments in 1962. So this is also a story. This most of you would have studied. Like 6,000 to 12,000 children had congenital anomalies due to the maternal use of thalidomide. The thalidomide tragedy. In 1962, US Senate hearings, Kefauver Amendments passed into law. Like for the first time, they said that the drug manufacturers, they should prove the efficacy of the drug which they manufactured to the FDA before marketing them. Okay, so before the drug comes into the market for public use, they must prove the efficacy of the drug to the FDA. Okay, next is the Declaration of Helsinki. So, it is adopted by the 18th WMA General Assembly in Helsinki, Finland in June 1964. So, till now about 7 revisions have been done for this, and the last one was revised in the October 2013. So, in this, a statement of ethical principles to provide guidance to physicians and other participants in the medical research involving human subjects. So the main thing what done here was that human experimentation was the word used as it was declared in the Nuremberg Code. Okay, after this declaration of Helsinki, it was changed into clinical research. Okay. Next is the Tuskegee syphilis study in 1932 to 1972. Due to this only the Belmont report came. Okay, so here also what happened, the US Public Health Services conducted syphilis study on 600 low income African American individuals. Okay, this started in 1932 and it was stopped in later period of 1972. This led to the Belmont report in 1979 and also the establishment of OHRP, known as the Office for Human Research Protection. So this Belmont report has 3 main principles. So here the 3 main principles is that the respect for persons who are participating in the trial and beneficence. So beneficence means like minimizing the potential harms and maximizing the benefits for the participation, and justice, that is distributing the benefits and risk fairly. Okay, so these were the 3 principles in the Belmont report. So next is during the 1970s and 1980s. So what happened is that, as I said before, Japan, UK and other European countries all developed GCP of their own. Okay, so there was a huge difference in the GCP guidelines between these countries and the standards of practice throughout the world. So as well as what happened, they have to repeat the clinical trials again and again, so that they had their own data and their own endings with that. Okay, so this created delays in getting the product to the market. And also what happened, there was an increase in the cost to the pharmaceutical industry. Okay, so for that purpose only in 1982 what they did is international guidelines for biomedical research involving human subjects was introduced, and in 1996 this problem came to an end, that because of a series of conferences were held. As I said, these conferences were collectively known as the ICH, International Conference of Harmonization, International Conference on Harmonization, and the GCP guidelines were made common to all the countries. Okay, so these meetings became as the ICH GCP, and in 1996, the ICH GCP guidelines were issued, and in 1997, the ICH GCP guidelines became law in some countries too. So, it provides guidance on issues such as the principles of GCP, research ethics, being an investigator or sponsor, the trial protocol and amendments, and all trial documentations. So, these all things come under ICH GCP. So, with this, So with this, the introduction and the origin of ICH GCP is over. In later on videos, we will be discussing about the principles and IRB, investigator sponsor responsibilities and protocol amendments, investigator project and essential documents for the ICH GCP. So subscribe to Interesting Pharmacology for future updates. Thank you.